Want to go over the idea of a ghost bird. I came across a woodpecker. It's pretty interesting. I recorded it a few years back, and I posted it online, a picture of it, and there was a reflection in it, so it looked almost like it was a transparent bird. And somebody was like, "Well, didn't you get a video of it?" And I didn't have it right on hand. I had to dig through some files, but I just noticed it today as I was looking through some files, so I figured I might as well look into it. So here is the ghost bird. I mean, you can see how it's really not noticeable. I didn't really notice it, because I figured, I kind of saw it, so I figured it was automatically the reflection of the window, because this was through a window. But you can see here that the twigs kind of look like they go through the bird, which it could be the reflection of the window. And so here is the video of the bird, and you can kind of see the reflection idea, you know, um, as the video plays. You can kind of see the sun, but it's sort of hard to tell. So it's something to think about. So here I'll play the video. Let me see it. And that's the video I have. The interesting part about the video is, I don't really believe much these days, but I do have a story about the bird. Is you know, the story about the bird is, it wasn't so much a bird at first. It was like within that year, I remember thinking about the neighbors, and I know I go through some crazy stuff, knocking on the walls or on the trees or twigs snapping, and I kind of fake it a lot so I don't let it bother me. And so I try not to bring it into public places, but at some point it occurred to me that maybe something started, attracting itself to neighbors, so it was knocking on its walls. I just hear knocking downstairs, and then I'd kind of hear this commotion, like I said, and maybe it was more mental and maybe even crazy, and maybe it was just the voids and the solution filling in. But I mean, this is what's playing on in my head. I'm going about my business. I'm thinking that thing, the Tommy knockers down there messing with these people because they don't know what's going on. And so I remember when I caught the bird, I'm like, oh, it was just a woodpecker because there was a lot of knocking on the time, and then there was a lot of people coming over, and I wasn't gonna go down there and keep up with. I wasn't talking, it's too crazy of a time to go down there and try to discuss anything, odd or weird or anything. So I mean, obviously it's just a woodpecker. But when somebody pointed out the fact that there was the bird looked a little bit transparent. I thought, well, maybe there's something to it. So, I mean, why not study it? It looks apparent to me that it's a reflection, but I've done this before. I was in, around the Hurricane Katrina time. I was in around New Orleans, Baton Rouge. And I'm outside and I'm looking at this kind of this silver, reflection of the light, and I'm trying to figure out how the light is dancing on this thing the way it was. And this cop, shows up and he kind of brings us out into the light and makes me take off my shoes and lets me go. And I go walking up the street, and there's this guy sitting on a bench with a stone in his hand. He's about to throw it at me. So it was a bit crazy when I was trying to figure out how that was happening with the light. So it's the same idea with the window. I mean, it looks kind of common that, the light could somehow bend and warp itself. But, maybe it needs a more professional opinion. But, the way it looks to me is that it's just a reflection of the window, and I solved it. It was a woodpecker. But to be honest, there was stuff playing out that there was, an actual, maybe not a Tommy knocker, but definitely that knocking. You hear on the analog horror videos. It was just that kind of knocking, and playing out that the neighbors were surprised, that they're kind of saying, "Hey, I never seen anything like this," But this, none of it was, sound. I mean, I didn't go talk to him about it. I didn't hear anything. This is just playing out in my mind. So that's the story behind the bird, as well as catching it, knocking on the walls.